Now, dangerous protests are taking place with regard to insulating Britain, and I believe that to be a load of nonsense. The question is, what is the real objective of these protests? And who implemented them? Who orchestrated the whole thing? You see, the government needs to have reasons to be heavy-handed when stopping protests. And the reasons aren't in place just yet. But with what's taking place, they have the perfect opportunity to create laws to be able to implement the full force of the law should a protest take place. And believe it or not, they will take place. In this war for the vaccine, they will take place because some of us will not touch it, and it will be mandated. Hello again, and welcome to my channel. I'm Brother Joseph, the author of God in Black and White, the podcast. Welcome back. Well, I've put one video up so far on YouTube, and lo and behold, they've blocked it. They've taken it down. God in Black and White Live 01 was taken down weeks after it was up, very short space of time after it went up, because it got too close to the truth. So let's see what they do with this one. Oh, and by the way, the backdrop's gone. You didn't like that. The intro's gone. You didn't like that. But some bad news, because they might well be coming back, because I did like them. Now, this chap who runs it, Liam Norton, or whatever his name is, have you ever heard a man speak so much gobbledygook and drivel in your life? Surely what he's saying does not make sense. But there they are, sitting in the road. What are they up to? I'll tell you what they may be up to. It's not everything that's against the government is actually against the government. The government too has its objectives and makes sure that these objectives are met. Now, these ludicrous people, at a time like this, rather than congregating and protesting against the enforced vaccination of a nation or all nations in the world, they're there protesting against insulated homes. And yet, this chap, Liam Norton, his home is not insulated, but he's out there risking his life on behalf of others whose houses are not insulated. There's a certain amount of madness there from my perspective, and I'm sure from most people. The question is, what is this man up to? That's what we as Nubians have got to consider. What is he up to? There are things happening in this country that we really do not know about, and we need to get our heads around it because there are changes taking place. All countries have been donated AstraZeneca as a way of protecting our people from the so-called virus, the COVID virus. Now, in none of our Nubian countries is there a high death toll for the COVID virus. And the reason is none of our countries can afford 5G. Most of our countries cannot afford 4G. And as you recall, when 4G came on the scene, the SARS came with it. Or was it the MERS? The SARS came with it. I believe the MERS came with 3G. The point I'm trying to make here is the G7 are donating AstraZeneca to our people throughout the globe. And AstraZeneca is a vaccine that the FDA in America has not even approved, and that the UK has only approved for usage in emergency purposes. It's a known fact that AstraZeneca creates blood clots and can sterilize, cut down on your population. But our leaders in our Nubian countries throughout the world are eager to force our people to inoculate themselves with this death serum. They do so as they've always done, whipping their people on behalf of the slave owners, and being proud to do so because all the slave owner has to do is smile. And they are satisfied. Now, from a race of people who would try to wipe us out, are we going to take a vaccine from them when we are not sick? When even the causes are unknown or unsure? When the origination is unknown or unsure? All we are sure of is the death toll in our countries are so minuscule, we needn't play the game. And our leaders must not play either. The agreement has to be broken. Now, where are we going today? That's the question. Several years ago, a young lady wanted her child, her young son, a young Nubian lady wanted to have her young son audition for a TV advert. The advert was for Milky Bars, the Milky Bar kid. I remember in the years gone by, the Milky Bar kid was a young Aryan chap. Come on, dressed in cowboy outfits and, you know, the usual. Played the fool as a cowboy, as the Milky Bar kid. Now, when this young lady, this Nubian young lady, took her son to the audition, obviously he failed. Instead, the reason she failed is because they did not want a Nubian child acting as the Milky Bar kid. Now, Nestle, who produced Milky Bars, had a legitimate argument against this, and one cannot blame them. Nestle's argument was, we are not a racist company. We have no issue with your child being the Milky Bar kid. However, we do have customers to consider. And the customers will not purchase our product if it's promoted by a Nubian. Now, There are more Nubians on the TV screen than there are in the area that I live. And I live in Handsworth. For those who do not know, a predominantly Black area in the West Midlands of the UK. There are things happening that, should we turn our backs on them, we will find ourselves in very uncomfortable situations. Man cannot change overnight. In fact, man cannot change. For centuries beyond centuries, man has always done the same things in the same way. That should get you a little bit closer to understanding who the devil is and who God is. Until next time.